All right, y'all. This story took place in 1995. So the number one blood and the number two blood just got locked up. Like they gone. They sent them up. They sent them up north, right? Now I was real tight with the number one and number two blood. So when they got locked up, they had nobody to put in place. So naturally they put me in place, even though I'm not affiliated, even though I'm not gang. But I was so tight with these guys and we was doing so much business together. They said, you know what? Let's just put Dante in play until we get somebody here that can really run this organization. Now keep in mind, y'all, I had control over 250 souls, 250 bloods, right, was under my command. So naturally, when anything pop off in this prison, anything that can cause a riot or anything, I'm the first person they coming to, right? And keep in mind the number one and number two blood of the whole state was in lockup. So I'm laying in my bed and the captain come knock on my cell door. I'm like, what's up? What's happening? He like, listen, the warden want to talk to you. I'm like, man, what the fuck he want? He said, hey, man, Dante, I'm just a messenger, man. I don't know what he want, but you got to come with me right now. So I'm like, all right, man. So I get up and I go with him, right? I get to the office. So the captain, he knock on the door, whatever, and the warden like, come in, come in. So we come in, right? And he tell the captain, like, okay, you can step out. So I come in, I sit down, I'm like, man, what's happening? What's up? He like, look, Dante, I got to let you know that it's about to be some changes in here. So, you know, I just need for you to keep the order because I know you run the bloods. I know you control everything out there. So I'd rather keep you out there. But listen, we about to have about 30 inmates come in here. I'm like, okay, what the fuck that mean? What's happening? What? He was like, well, they transsexuals. I said, what? He was like, yeah, they're transsexuals and they empty them. They brought them all to our prison and they'll be here in the next day. I'm like, okay, what the fuck that got to do with me? He was like, well, since you control, the bloods, I was kind of hoping. I said, oh, hold up. You was kind of hoping what? He was like, just keep the peace, man. If you see anything crazy going on, I'm like, what exactly do you mean? Like, what are you saying? He said, man, Dante, I'm just letting you know it's going to be about 30 transsexuals coming here tomorrow, and I just want you to keep the peace out here in this prison. Can you please do that for me? Because I look the other way a lot when y'all be doing y'all thing out here, man. I don't ever interfere in y'all business. So, look, just make sure don't nobody get hurt. I said, listen, man, I don't know exactly what you asking me and what you want me to do, but, I'll talk to the gang, man, but all right. He was like, all right, Dante. So I leave out and the captain take me back to my cell. So when I get to my cell, keep in mind, y'all, it's early in the month. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. So I kick my homeboy Al because he my bunk, right? He my celly, right? So I'm like, Al. I kick him. He like, man, what, man? I said, listen, when these doors pop at 6 o'clock, I need for you to go let everybody know that there's going to be a meeting on the yard today at 1 o'clock. If you are a blood, you will be on the yard. I don't give a damn what's going on. I don't care if you got a visit code. I don't give a damn if you on the toilet taking a number 2. Every blood member in this whole prison better be on the yard. He said, all right, man, all right. So Al go back and lay down. All right, y'all. Before we go on, we got to do the question of the day. The question of the day is this. Do y'all like to play Monopoly? If you like playing Monopoly, let me know in the comment section. And if you don't like playing Monopoly, well, what board game did you like to play? Put it in the comment section. And don't forget to hit the like button and share the video and hype the video. Let's continue. So anyway, the doors pop. Al get on it and Al go get a couple other homies or whatever, and they spreading the word. Hey man, Dante said be on the yard at 1 o'clock. Hey, man, this mandatory. This ain't for no negotiation. Hey, anybody that don't show up, they getting violated. And that's just what it is, right? So we just gonna fast forward to on the yard. So we out there about 250 strong. 250 bloods out there, right? You just see a sea of red. So everybody, y'all remember that scene off of The Warriors? That's what it was like. You talking about 250 strong. And the warden let it go down. Because I know some of y'all in the comment section going to be like, oh, this Cap Dante, they ain't going to let y'all assemble like that, man. They going to shut that down. No, this was sanctioned by the warden, right? So anyway, I finally come out there, right? I'm standing on the bleacher so everybody can see me. And I'm like, Sue, woo. They like, woo, woo, right? That's like the bird call or whatever. So they do all that. And I'm like, listen, y'all, I got a big announcement, right? Now, a lot of y'all know who I am, and some of y'all don't know who I am. For those that do know who I am, y'all know what time it is. Sue whoop. They be like, whoop, whoop. So then I said, for those that don't know who I am, I'm running this here. I'm running this organization here in this prison, right? Now, word just came to me from upstairs that there's going to be transsexuals coming in here tomorrow, right? Now, when I said that, I paused. And, dudes got the whispering, murmuring. And I said, nah, check this out, y'all. Now, when I became the number one guy here, until, y'all get a new leader, I implemented my rules, and now they really got to come into effect. If any of you dudes in this crowd right here that's present right now, if any of y'all feel like y'all can't control yourselves, or y'all been hiding something, or you got something in you that may have you wanting to do something with one of these transsexuals that pull up in here tomorrow, I'm going to give all of y'all a free pass. You will not be violated. You will not be terminated. But if you get caught in the act with one of these punks that shows up here, it's OV, lights out. And for those that don't know what that means, you're going to die. I have zero tolerance for any of that behavior going on. We all in here are men, and plus y'all blood. So the weakest armor, the weakest chink in the armor can bring down the whole gang. So I'm gonna let y'all know right now, y'all got 1 day, 24 hours to get y'all affairs in order. And again, if you want to exit out the gang quietly, go to your representative and let them know, like, hey, man, I don't know if I can, do this. I'm gonna have to drop the flag. It's okay. I'm giving everybody 24 hours. If you want to drop the flag, if you want to drop your flag, fold your flag, you got my permission. But you only got 24 hours, because when these transsexuals get here and you get caught engaging and doing nefarious activities, you will get violated to the ultimate price, and that's you're going to have to play with blood. It's blood in, blood out, woo, 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 right? So I said, y'all dismissed, and dudes just started walking. Groups of cats, they just started dispersing, right? So for those that don't know, my homeboy Homicide, he was a gangster disciple, right? And I know a lot of y'all can be like, man, Dante, y'all mixing a lot of politics, man. Like, what's going on? Hey, listen, man, the prison I was at, Bloods, Crips, gangster disciples, BDs, GDs, all, listen, one thing y'all got to understand, when it came to the politics, blacks had to come together. Blacks had to be as one. Yeah, we was all individual. And let's make this clear. I am not blood. I am not Crip. I'm not a gang member. I'm not affiliated at all. Okay. I'm just me. And for those that have been following me for the time that y'all been following me, y'all know that I did have a crew, right? And my crew, we had about, at the height of it, maybe about 25 guys. But a lot of dudes got weeded out for one reason or another, okay? And what I used to do, I used to run a protection scheme, right? If you was a weak inmate and you need some protection and you couldn't make it and stand on your own 2 feet, well, you would come to me for a fee and we'll make sure that you will not be harmed in prison, all right? So anyway, let's continue with the story, all right? So I'm like, hey, Al. No, I'm like, hey, Homicide. Man, how many people you think gonna fold? He was like, psh, it's about what, 250? I said, yeah. He was like, shit, maybe about 100 of them. I said, you think so for real? It was like, man, shoot, the punks, man, that's already here, man. These, man. I said, you think so for real? Like, yeah. So I put the word out for all the blood captains to come together and give me a report of how many people, I want names, of how many people would fold their flags, right? So the word went out. I got the list back around 8 o'clock at night, y'all. Y'all wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. Over 58 bloods folded their flag. 58, right? So I got all the captains. It was about 8 of them. And I said, okay, so these are the names of the guys? Like, yeah. I said, listen, what y'all want to do? They're like, what you mean? I said, what y'all want to do? Y'all want to exterminate them or what? It was like, wait a minute, hold on, man. You said, I said, I know what I said. But like I said, what that looked like, you got 58 bloods that folded their flag just to get involved with some homosexual activity. They like, man, I don't think that's we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do, man. Some of these, I say, listen, I know I'm your acting leader right now. I might not be y'all leader tomorrow, but hey, y'all gonna have to do a purge. So I said, we're gonna take it to a vote. Raise your hand if you down for the purge. 2 people raised their hand. I said, raise your hand if you're not for the purge. 6 people raised their hand. And I said, say less. So then I said, you know what? I'm going to step down. Because my politics is not aligning with what y'all got going on. So I'm going to step down. Oh, Dante, don't do that, man. Don't do. I said, listen, y'all, I'm going back to my original program. So y'all got it. And I walked off. The next day, y'all, 2 o'clock to be exact. Everybody, it's high noon, right? Everybody on the yard. I'm talking about everybody on the yard, right? The bus pull up. When I say, I thought, now some of these mugs that got off the bus looked like straight up dudes. But then some of them did look like women. They had butt implants, breast implants, like collagen lips. They looked like females. And I told my homeboy, Tarty, I said, yeah, it's about to get turned up in here. You got dudes all at the gate whistling, catcalling, howling, fighting. Oh, that's me. Right? And me and my homies just right here on the bleachers is looking like, you niggas, man, you motherfuckers, right? Let me tell y'all something. The last person that got off the bus was the number 2 blood. Number 2 blood that just left here a couple months ago. See, I was ruling for about a year and everything was going copacetic. But he came back and he was one of them on the bus. And I'm looking. I'm like, what? I know that ain't. I'm going to put his name out there. His name Dino. is Dino. So I'm like, what the man, that's Dino. What the I was like, oh hell no. So I instantly start putting them kites in. Like, hey, when Dino get out of reception, I need to holler at him. I need to holler at Dino. Right? Let me tell y'all something. For the next 3 days, it was so many stabbings, so many dudes getting their head bust to the white meat. It was like a free for all. These dudes was claiming these dudes like they was real women. Like I'm talking about, when I say it was pandemonium and chaos, I told all my homies that was, in my gang, well, not gang, but in my organization, the ones that was doing the protection scheme, I said, yo, all contracts is canceled until this get sorted out. I'm not trying to get caught up in none of this drama. All contracts is canceled, okay? Until this blow over, we ain't doing nothing at all, right? And I'm like, did anybody get word to Dino that I need to holler at him? It was like, yeah, he supposed to be hitting the floor today. I said, all right. Now I put in a special request for Dino to get put in our unit, right? Because I really need to holler at him. So when I say it was a lot of chaos going on, y'all, I don't even want to, go through all that. Just know it was a lot of people just getting stabbed, beat down, whooped out. Dudes that you would have never thought, that got down like that was getting down exactly like that. So I'm like, all right. So the next day, right, Dino hit the unit. And when he came in, I see dudes like run to their cell, right? Dudes that you would never expect that was like this. Niggas coming out with their shirt pressed, pants pressed. Nigga done put on cologne, brushed it. I'm like, what the? Dudes approaching Dino. Approaching him like like trying to court him. And I'm just sitting back, I'm like, man, what the? Right, it was 3 guys in there that was like pulling up on him. So he go to his cell, and I get 3 of my guys, right? And I'm like, y'all watch out, right? So I'm like, yo, Dino, what's happening? What's up? He like, Dante, that's you? I said, yeah, that's me, man. What's up? What happened? He like, well, first of all, I'm not Dino. Don't call me Dino. My name Chocolate. I said, Chocolate? He said, listen, Dante, I've been gone for almost a year now, and this is who I am now, so you just going to have to accept it. I said, listen, Dino. He said, listen, don't call me Dino no more. My name is Chocolate. I said, whatever, man. I said, like, what's happening? Like, what happened? He was like, what you mean, what happened? This is who I am. I said, Dino. He was like, listen, Dante, if you're going to keep disrespecting me, like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't got time for that. I said, listen, man, listen, you know what? There's a lot of dudes that's going to have a lot of questions and in y'all organization. Well, I mean, F it. I mean, what they want to know. I'm like, hey, man, look, you got it, man. You got it, right? He was like, yeah, I know I got it, and I am the baddest bee, and I still can fight. I said, hey, Dino, you got it. And I just walked off, right? Now, I know y'all wondering, like, yo, well, Dante, why did you want to holler at him? Because I wanted to know what happened. This was the number 2 blood in the state. The number 2 blood in the state. And he been only gone for about a year and a half. And he come back as Chocolate? You left here as Dino and you come back here as Chocolate. So I'm confused. And the more that we was only talking for a good maybe a minute. But the more that we was talking, I just said, you got it. Because it wasn't no getting through to him. I guess I wasn't going to get the answers that I wanted. So I just dipped off. Let me tell y'all something. For the next 2 weeks, when I say that prison was turned upside down, I haven't seen that much violence since the riots in '92. It was so much. I'm talking about dudes fighting to be with these guys. When it was all settled and done, a lot of these um, alternative lifestyle living inmates banded together. 2 weeks ago by, and I got into some mess with a captain, right? Because I wasn't the ruling leader of the Bloods. Now I was demoted in the captain in the guard's eyes, if that makes sense. So some things I used to get away with, I wasn't getting away with, and I'm not gonna tell y'all exactly what I did. Just know I ended up putting a knife at a guard neck, and well, they threw my ass in the hole. So now I'm back there, and I'm not gonna lie. The hole for me really wasn't no big deal because I'm used to being alone. That's how I grew up anyway, being alone anyway. So I didn't really care about, human interaction and all that. But then my door popped, right? Boom. And I knew I was getting an inmate. I knew I was going to get a cellie. But I just didn't know who it was, right? And guess who walk in? Dino, a.k.a. Chocolate. So he comes in and he just standing there, after the guard leave. He's standing there and he was like, am I going to have a problem with you? I said, man, what is you doing here? Like, what happened? He like, man, Dante, I told you I don't want to talk about it. I said, no, like, what did you do to get back here? Like, what happened? He was like, man, they was hating on me up there, man. They was hating on me, and they was talking about I just was just causing too much disruptions, and they just hating on the B. They just hating on the B. I said, what? He was like, yeah. I said, man, hey, man, Dino, look, I'm going to call you Dino up in here, man, because I can't call you Chocolate, man. I just, the man that I am, I can't call you that, bruh. He like, well, you going to have to show me some time. I said, listen, man, we going to have to fight in this motherfucker then. And if you want that, because Dino knew he couldn't fuck with me. Matter of fact, nobody can fuck with me in that prison. You maybe got 2 or 3 guys, maybe. But pound for pound, hand for hand, look, y'all got to understand. For those don't know what I look like, I'm 6'1". And right now, like in 2026, April 24th, 8:30 a.m., this is why I'm telling the story. Right now, I'm 6'1". I'm about like 220, but I'm kind of fat. I'm kind of out of shape. Need to hit the gym. But back then, I was 6'1", a good 250, 260, stacked, all muscle, right? So niggas didn't want that problem. So anyway, I'm like, hey man, what happened, man? Like, what how did you get in here? Like, what is your story, Dino? Like, what happened? So he was like, you know what? We ain't got nothing but time. I'll tell you. So he said he has a twin brother. I said, what? You got a twin? He was like, yeah, I got a twin. And, we was truck drivers. We both was doing truck drivers, team truck driving or whatever. And, me and him had differences. Like, we just didn't get along or whatever. So we ended up going solo. I said, okay. So he said, basically, his brother would go state to state and he'd be unaliving prostitutes. I said, what? He said, yeah, he was going state to state, unaliving prostitutes. And I didn't know nothing about this at all. So I said, okay, okay. And I said, wait, so he like your identical twin? Like y'all like, he said, Dante, man, me and this dude, we like spitting images of each other. Like we identical. Like really, if he was here right now, minus all this I got on, yeah, we identical twins. I said, okay, I didn't know that. He was like, yeah. He said, so anyway, he was a serial killer basically. And long story short, he ended up unaliving himself, and they said it was me. Because they called we identical twins or whatever, but he ended up unaliving himself. And, well, I don't know if you want to hear this or not. I'm like, what? He was like, well, he ended up unaliving himself, and I end up feeding him to our pigs. Like, we stay in Georgia, like the outskirts, like, and we got a little farm or whatever. But I end up feeding him to the pigs or whatever because I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Pigs will eat anything. They'll eat anything. I said, they do? He said, yeah, man. I chopped my brother up and I, fed him to the pigs. I said, oh, okay. I said, so what happened? He said, well, about a couple weeks later, the U.S. Marshals end up kicking my door in, and they blame me for all the serial killings. I said, whoa, hold up, Dino. So you telling me your twin brother, first y'all was team drivers on the road, over the road, then y'all went solo, and then he started unaliving prostitutes from state to state. He ended up taking his life at your house or family farm. You panic, chop him up, feed him to the pigs, and then the U.S. Marshals come get you for what he did? He said, yeah, that's what happened. I said, damn, that's cold-blooded. Listen, y'all, I got my Patreon pinned at the top of the comment section. There's stories that I cannot put on YouTube because YouTube would not allow me to put them on this channel, okay? They'll flag it and shut it down. So if y'all want to hear them type of prison stories, make sure y'all go to my Patreon. I will have my Patreon pinned at the top of the comment section. Now, it's just not prison stories over there. I got my supernatural stories over there, my short horror film stories over there. I got my Bible stories over there. I got all the content that y'all been looking for is over there. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all go check it out. Okay, I will have that link pinned at the top of the comment section. Also, for the rest of this month of April and May, I'm still doing $50 promotions. So if you need your business, your social media channel, if you got a book, if you got a product that you need promoted, make sure you get in contact with me. My contact number is 1-313-452-8981. That's 1-313-452-8981. I'm going to have that information pinned at the top of the comment section too, along with my email that y'all can contact me too, okay? Yeah. And with that, y'all, over and out. And don't forget to hit that like button. The social media channels promoted. Make sure you shoot me a text at this number. My channel get over 5 million views per month. So that's a lot of eyes on your promotion. If you forgot to hit that like button, make sure you smash the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Be sure to get your Military Mind Games merch. The link will be pinned in the comment section. And last but not least, make sure y'all help me fight this war on poverty.